Hi, and welcome to AXSChat. We're delighted to welcome back a return guest. It's Nurdeniz Tuncer. And Nurdeniz, you came on AXSChat probably a good couple of years ago now. You had just started the process of creating the first Guide Dogs Association in Turkey. But it's great to have you back. See you getting a lot of press and doing a lot of work. Keep seeing posts about you on social media and so on. But I'm sure our audience will be delighted to hear what you've been doing. So can you just give us a bit of a reintroduction to how you came to start the association and end up with your beautiful black guide dog Kara, who you've been showing us just now, and what you've been up to in the intervening time since we last spoke.
Thank you so much, first of all. As you know, I'm a lawyer, and I have been working for this Guide Dog Association for 5 years, almost 5 years. We had a chat, I think, 2015, December 28th. So after that, we had many things, many experience. What we did, first of all, we did a lot of to create the awareness for the blind and people in Turkey, because we didn't have proper dog culture for the guide dog. We are the first guide dog association for the blind people. It was very new things from my country. First of all, we have to explain that. 2016, I introduced with Kara. Kara is an amazing guide dog, but we had to do many things for the public because Mrs. Maggie Moore, we found this association 2014. We met one of the event at the residential. Her husband was former British ambassador in Turkey, and Maggie is blind like me. We introduced and we understood we had same disease and same eye conditions, and she was very comfortable with the guide dog Star. Star is really Star. And I asked her, I really would like to get a guide dog. And she said, let's found the Guide Dog Association. It was an amazing adventure for me. After Kara, everything changed because before Kara, I was talking about guide dog, what is guide dog, what is the history of guide dog, what will we do, because we didn't have the regulation for that. Also, now we don't have the special regulation, but we are part of United Nations, and it is a special right for the people with disability. 2016, November, I met with Kara in front of media, first documentary. I was so excited because it was new adventure, and we started training in Ankara, capital of Turkey. Then I came back to Istanbul to introduce my family, my business colleagues. And first of all, I would like to try Metrobus with Kara. And I went to Metrobus with my trainer, and I said to them, this is my guide dog. And they understood, Kara, my guide dog is a blind. And I said, no, I'm a blind. First of all, we started with Metrobus, that style, then ferry, train, and we flew first time, airplane, Turkish guide dog. She's the first guide dog in Turkey. And in Turkey, people, they are very lovely, they would like to pet her, or they are scared. So we open the door for public, making sure people how it's good, and we open the door for the public.
So I think it's worth noting that dog ownership's not particularly common anyway in Turkish culture, right? And therefore, and certainly not guide dog ownership. As you said, Kara's the first guide dog in the country, so there isn't any kind of
Turkish guide dog from
yeah. So
so
there's no kind of there's no psychological understanding of what the dogs do or anything like that. So you've had to go and educate people.
Yes, actually, it wasn't easy first of all because they thought the guide dog should be different because I'm short lady and Kara is a little bit big dog. And if I try to get on natural, security first of all stopped me and they asked, uh, are you blind? Your dog is very big. I said, this is a guide dog. That's why it's big. So, I'm very comfortable now. Sometimes people doesn't understand guide dog, but if I explain, everything is getting better.
Yeah.
I have seen all your, let's say, adventures on Instagram, where you go to different places, different events with your dog. Can you tell us your experiences uh, uh, at the events, how people react when they see you with your dog, and what questions you usually get from them when they see you just attending these social events where you somehow, I believe, seem to enjoy a lot.
Yes, as you know, I'm the Chambers of Commerce member, the Chambers of Commerce member. I'm a very active person. I try to go all events, and normally all events are very crowded. That's why, first of all, they try to understand, and they're asking the question: is it really good? Is it really helpful for you? And all the time, I'm telling them to be independent. It's really good thing to go somewhere without someone to go to the shopping or to go to the different places of if you're bored to go out without anyone with your guide dog. Amazing things. They try to understand. One of the events last year I participated and people didn't understand I was a blind, and one of the men said to me, why you came with your dog to the event? I said, I'm a blind, that's why. And he was in shock. It's good to give people the positive energy. And one of the documentary, actually, Sabanci Foundation is a big foundation in Turkey, and they select us change maker. And we were working on documentary, and he said to me, could you go to the bookstore? I said, okay, but I cannot read the book. And he said, oh, I forgot, because we were walking with him, and he forgot I'm a blind with Kara. And nowadays, for bank procedure, for all public buildings, I'm very comfortable with Kara.
That's great to hear. Debra, I know you had a question or a comment. You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you, Neil. Usually we get you for
It's
that,
usually
Neil.
me.
So.
I know.
But welcome back to the program. We loved having you on before, and we've been, as Antonio Neil has said, we've been watching your adventures. But the one thing that I was curious about is that Turkey certainly has multiple religions, but they also have a very large Muslim population in Turkey. And I know that there's some very interesting history between Muslims and dogs. At first, way back, dogs were, laborers, and they were very involved in people's lives. And then they also were very helpful because they would eat garbage. And then, as the year, I've explored the history because I think it's fascinating. But it got to the point where a lot of Muslims, they don't like dogs. They think they're unclean and they're dirty. But at the same time, there are some people that Muslims that have dogs because it's a status symbol. So I'm just curious, how has this had any impact on what you're doing? And the reason why I'm curious is because when I was in Singapore, I was teaching and I was talking about guide dogs, and they're like, no, we don't do guide dogs here, just because Singapore is so small, I think. But and they also said that it was partially because of Muslims. And so I was just curious if any of these issues, have come up, and how are people handling it? I'm just curious about it.
Thank you for this question. Actually, Muslim religion accepts the dog. Culture doesn't use that. Last week we had a conference and we were discussing about, in the religion book, it's written, dog is not bad things. They have a different culture, that's why, because we start to live the small buildings, that's why maybe. But if you explain the dog helps you, it's not a problem. Sometimes they say, oh, I pray, I shouldn't touch, but I can understand you. It's up to education. If people educate, they could understand easily. So media is very important. Almost 2 years I'm with Kara, and every day or every week we are on media, and it's very important to create awareness people. Sometimes taxis are a problem, but mostly for public transportation, we are very comfortable. My country, majority, they are Muslim, but they accept guide dogs. And in Turkey now, there are 4 working guide dogs and 3 therapy dogs. So it is really good improvement because financially it's difficult. You have to explain to sponsor how it's helpful to people, and we should go to the places to show people how it's helpful.
Great answer. And what I think the opportunity here.
I'm proud of my country.
Oh my gosh, Turkey's amazing. Turkey's amazing. I agree with you. It's a beautiful country. But I think that the reason why I wanted to bring that up was because the work that you're doing in Turkey is so powerful, but it also can lead to a lot of other countries that are not accepting guide dogs. So that was the point I wanted to make, because there are other countries that are predominantly Muslims that are not accepting of the guide animals, so the guide dogs, and they're so helpful to people that are blind. So I wanted to just let the audience know that what you're doing is powerful for Turkey, but it's also powerful for a lot of the other countries too that are watching what you're doing. So bravo for all the work that you're doing. It's really exciting. And you had said right before air, and I was wondering if you would talk about this a little bit, but you had said before we got on air that you were talking about, wearing high heels and makeup and how people were getting confused and assuming because you could do those things, you must not really be blind. So I was just wondering if you could tell that story, because I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Our association actually main purpose to provide free charge guide dogs, and we provide the services freely. Other things, our purpose show people how blind people can be success if they have an opportunity. They thought all the time blind people shouldn't wear, how to choose the color, how to wear, how to work, how to do that. We would like to show people, you can make up, you can wear, you can high heel. High heel is not good things for the blind actually, for payment, for walking properly, but we would like to show people and makeup can live their life. Because in Turkey, the problem is low perception. Perception is very low for the blind people.
And we know from following you on Instagram that you're always immaculately turned out, very, very well color coordinated. Last week we had Be My Eyes on AXSChat. Are you familiar with Be My Eyes, the application?
Yes, it's an amazing thing for blind people to ask. Sometimes I'm not very often using the Be My Eyes, but sometimes I am connecting families or friends to ask my makeup, because I always travel alone. So it is important to use technology, and Be My Eyes is amazing.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic thing. And also, I was showing someone else the color identifier in Seeing AI. So you can use that, and you can point at things, and it'll tell you what the color is, and so on. It's really it's really helpful. But yeah, we know that you've got this off pat because we see you on Instagram. You're always beautifully color coordinated. I have full sight and am incapable of coordinating my colors. So people shouldn't
That's why
make those
people always
assumptions.
ask. That's why people always ask me, is dog blind or you are blind? I try to push it down. I'm a blind,
Yes.
and it's very
Yeah.
enjoyable. People ask me,
Yeah.
can you see or you cannot see? I said, absolutely, I cannot see.
Yes. So you mentioned that there are now three other guide dog users in Turkey that your foundation has helped um, train both the dogs and the users. But you also mentioned that you've kind of diversified, so you've got therapy dogs as well now. So what took you into what led you to start working with dogs for therapy?
Actually, last year we started to provide the more guide dogs, and some dogs failed. And it was too difficult because we had very good sponsors, married with international and business council support us, Nesta Pinakatlan, and those failed. And this year we had a trainer from UK, Ken Bryden, and he came to Turkey and we discussed what we could with the failed dog because they are fully trained and final part they failed and they couldn't be the guide dog. So if they are not guide dog, they should have other disabilities. Mental disability children, blind children, we have to help them for getting communication. That's why we start therapy dogs. Mango, Kaimak, we have, and Combis, they are working for therapy in Turkey.
Excellent. And what kind of role do they play now? So are they working with children?
Yes, they're working with children. We have a puppy walker, dog walker families. They are volunteer families. They take care of the dog, and twice a week they are going to disabled children's schools, and they pet the dog children. They play the dog, and yeah, it's good for the communication.
Fantastic. You you mentioned, we know that you're a lawyer, and that takes a tremendous amount, and usually there's a tremendous amount of reading engaged with being a lawyer,
Yeah.
and that's obviously something that Cara can't help you with.
Yeah, yeah. Actually,
So
I
so
have a good
how
story
do you
for
cope?
that.
Yeah, you have the assistant helping you. Okay.
No, I have a good story for that.
Okay, great.
Last month I was at the airport and we found the check-in services for the disabled people. And I checked in, and then she asked me, "Do you need the assistant?" I said, "Unfortunately, Kara cannot read." At the airport, we need all the time assistant, but outside on the street, I always use if I am alone, blind spare. It's very helpful to find a place, find a street if I don't know. It's very helpful.
Yeah. So that's the Blind Square app, and I think you can find some write-ups on that on AppleVis,
Yeah,
if people are
yeah,
looking for it.
it's
Yeah.
very good app for the blind people. Also, we have many apps can appear with different kind of second reader we use. It's very helpful. Technology is improving and helping blind people. I have two assistants, iPhone and Kara.
Debra, I know you had another question.
Well, I was just wondering what's next for your organization. I mean, you've achieved a lot, and I think a lot of our audience understands that, training a guide dog. It takes many, many years. And as you say, sometimes, the guide dogs fail along the way. And so it's nice that you can do the therapy, but you've actually accomplished a lot having 4 owners with guide dogs throughout Turkey. But what's next? What do you hope to achieve? Because I know you're not done. You are definitely going to change the world. So what's the next thing? And I also think it's a good point that I like how you're using technology with the dogs. You're utilizing everything to have a fully independent life, which is what people want to do. So that's exciting.
What is next? Actually, we would like to provide more guide dog for the blind people, because there are a lot of people, they are waiting guide dog. And every day, many blind call, and they would like to be more independent. Absolutely right, Kim, is very helpful for the blind people. But, they always want to be more independent, safely, because guide dog is not only your assistant, not only for walking. They are very good friends, but we try to explain to them they have a responsibility for the guide dog. It's not only dog. You have to look after your dog, dog look after you. This is a teamwork. And yeah, we would like to be more guide dog, because,
So you have a waiting list now. So you have a waiting list. Yeah.
Yes, we have a very, very long waiting list for that.
Wow.
Sometimes it's too difficult to explain that, because financially you need a support. You need a trainer, we need a trainer, more and more trainers. We always get support from UK, Europe Guide Dog Federation. But in Turkey, there are 756,000 registered blind people, and young generation more percentage. So we need more help. Also, we would like to organize more and more therapy dogs for old people and the other disabilities. But main purpose for blind people.
So I've got a question. And that is, how much does it cost to get from the point of taking the puppy to having a trained guide dog and user? Because obviously there's a cost to training the user too.
Actually, approximately 2 years cost 60,000 Turkish liras. It means approximately 10,000 euros.
10,000 euros. Yeah, okay. So that's not an insignificant amount of money. So I know you're getting support, as you mentioned, from the Guide Dogs Association and from the UK. What other things how can other people engage? And do you have a Just Giving page, or is there can people donate?
They can donate from our bank account. We have an SMS things, and we all the time organize once a year fundraising events. Yeah, it's coming.
Brilliant. Okay, so like a big fundraising ball or something.
Yeah, fundraising ball. Merch International organize. They are full sponsor for that fundraising events. And yeah.
Fantastic. But there needs to, as you said, if there's 750,000 people out there that are registered blind in Turkey, that's a lot of a lot of money that you need to raise to help people be more independent. Do you think that at some Do you think that at some point that attitudes within the government might change towards funding of this kind of stuff, and that you might be able to get support from the administration to train people and to train guide dogs?
We have just started that kind of projects. First of all, we organized Turkish Standard Institutes, the standards, because before we didn't have a guide dog. That's why we don't have any standards. And we prepared standards for the guide dog. What is a guide dog? What is happy worker families criteria, what is the health criteria. So after that, we will start with the municipal policies, to train more people. It's a long procedure for the corporation. First of all, we are NGO. NGO is responsible to show people how it's working. So it's on time. We applied to Australian Embassy project. We won that. Second trainer we sent to UK with that. And second, we were change maker. And last year, September, we had a reward from International Shopping Council. Zorlu Shopping Center applied the project with us for accessibility to shopping malls. And that was the good things. And we would like to work with the Family and Labor Minister for that work. But it's taking time.
Yeah, no, these things always do, but it sounds like you are making progress, and I'm sure we'll come back and revisit again, hopefully, and you'll have 400 dogs and
Yeah,
a bunch of different people. So I sincerely hope, and I'm confident that you've got this. You've got this energy and the passion to deliver this.
Yeah, we would like to work with a technology company because it's important to work with them, or big companies, international companies in Turkey to support that work.
Yeah. No, and so yes, it's a combination. So you've got the combination of the the trained animal. And then you're using things like Blind Square, Be My Eyes, other applications. And you say that the iPhone is your second assistant. How are you using your iPhone in your daily work? Are you using that not just for navigating around, but also for sort of a lot of your office tasks as well?
Yes, absolutely. For office, a lot of tasks and writing a message, email, for social media, everything. iPhone is my life, When I wake up, first of all, I'm checking my phone. What time is it? And what is the WhatsApp message? Or Twitter, I always follow Twitter and, the news from phone, everything. To read newspaper, to listen radios, everything.
Yeah.
To understand colors, to check the money, everything. I'm on navigation.
Yeah, it's amazing. Go on,
and I think you achieved something, something very interesting in a short period of time in terms of change and awareness. So I have to give you, congratulations for that, because it's not easy to work in this space. So well done.
Thank you so much. But it was very enjoyable, Sometimes I was a little bit worried about the public if they didn't accept me for, minibus, for buses, metro. Now it's amazing, People knows Kara, people knows me, and the other free guide dog user. Absolutely, there is some issues, but not too much. We are still young initiative, This is important for blindness. This is important for animal lovers. If you train the dog, how it's helpful for humans' health. It's amazing. Change their life. We would like to show also that. Animals are our best friends, if you train them.
I think, I love dogs. I think guide dogs are just amazing anyway, as well. One last thing before we close, and you talked previously when we talked a few years ago about how there were regulations on accessibility, but they were sort of followed without thought. So you would have the textured paving or whatever, but it would be laid out in such a way that it didn't work for users. Is the greater awareness that you've seen over the last few years actually resulting in a better and more inclusive environment in general? Do you think that things are improving?
Yes, there are a lot of improvement in Turkey. I would like to tell that it's really good, for technology, for accessibility, you can see the difference for universities. Day by day, it's changing, getting better. I can tell that.
That's really pleasing to know. So it just remains for me to thank all of our supporters, Barclays Access, Microlink, and MyClearText for helping us sustain AXSChat over the years. And we're going to keep on interviewing and revisiting these amazing projects and people like you. So thank you very much, Nurdeniz. It's been a real pleasure again.
Thank you very much for interviewing you. Thank you very much, Debra. Thank you very much, Antonia. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so